Hello, it's Matthew McAllister here, and welcome to Gallery of Guitar, and welcome to a very special conversation that happened today in the gallery. Let me just tell you a little bit about it. Today, an old friend and colleague of mine, Sean Woods, came down from Derry to the studio here in Lisbon, and we spent a few hours talking about so many aspects of the classical guitar world and the music business. And this conversation is going to be interesting for enthusiasts, teachers, festival directors, recording engineers, guitar makers, performers, everybody. It's a conversation that really is a very, very special one. It talks about adversity at different stages in your career and how Sean has battled so strongly to overcome some of that adversity. And it goes through all the different things he's done in his career to the moment we get to today, which is him having made himself with his own hands his first ever classical guitar, and the journey that it took him on to get to that point and what that really means. And it was a really, really special chat. So I invite you to spend a little bit of time here in Gallery of Guitar with myself and Sean Woods talking about all things classical guitar. Well, folks, hello. I am here at Gallery of Guitar and I'm with my good friend and colleague of many years, Mr. Sean Woods. Hey Sean, how you doing?
Hey Matthew, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's an absolute pleasure to
I'm so stoked with this place, man.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
And stunning, absolutely. It's a guitarist's dream.
I know. Thank you very much.
It really is.
Well, it's still getting.
You've done well for yourself.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's very kind of you to say. So as I say, I've known Sean for years, and as so many things, as a classical guitarist, a performer, a teacher, a festival director, a very successful festival director, and now dipping your toe, or more than your toe, I would say, in the world of guitar making. So
yes,
I just wanted to get you on the channel and get you to share a little bit of some of the things. Sean's had an amazing career, and what a journey, and now we've got him back, I'll tell you, back to the world of guitar and making instruments, which is beautiful. But how did we get here? How did we get to building guitars?
I know it's a long story, but we'll go really quickly.
Well, of course.
Well, obviously, I mean, the onset of the Dystonia.
Yes. So for those that don't know, Sean developed focal dystonia. In both hands, or
no, just
the right hand.
Yeah, just the right hand. These 3 digits.
So
they just
thumb, index, and middle. Right?
Yeah. The middle. I mean, is I don't know. I don't know if it's getting better or I was just overreacting with it.
Okay.
But the index and the thumb are very. They're very sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, as you say, it's focal dystonia. So it focuses on one thing and one thing only, and that is when I put my leg up like that.
So as soon as you go into posture to prepare to do your thing,
it's all over.
It on the right hand, it's like sending a message, like
yeah. I mean, well, I mean, really, what happens is that the neurons have been corrupted. The neurons that normally send that signal, there's a wee part in the back of the head here in the brain. It's called the basal ganglia. And when that transmits the signels, it's been transmitting them signals perfect for 30 years.
Yeah. Never ever given it a
thought.
Second.
No matter what training processes or any arpeggios didn't come into play.
Okay.
Yeah. When this and this is really ironic actually, because this started on the last 2 pieces that I was playing in Rust in Austria.
In Austria, yeah, I know the festival. Yeah,
you were
Gabriel.
You were bloody there.
Oh, okay.
You were there.
So that was happening that night.
That night, I knew something was wrong with my thumb.
Oh my gosh.
My thumb just had this really incredible involuntary muscle spasm. And I was a wee bit, thank God I had the music in front of me.
Yeah.
Because it just took all my concentration away.
Yeah.
So that was the first reference to it,
Okay.
I just found it very strange,
God, you never said anything obviously that night. But
no, I didn't.
Yeah, yeah,
no, I didn't.
yeah.
But that was
You
the
can
night that
trace
it
it
started.
back to something. Yeah.
I remember it so solidly. Like, and then a few performances after that, the index finger just started to cave in every time. I had the guitar festival coming up.
Yeah. So when I said Sean ran a guitar festival, he ran the City of Derry Guitar Festival for 17 years?
17 years.
Which was an incredible festival. I think I played it a couple of
Three,
times maybe, or
two or three
times.
times.
Yeah. And it was just always what an event.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It was
you had amazing players. You invited players from all over the world.
Yeah.
And it was just
we had the cream of the crop, like
you
I
did.
have to say.
Yeah.
You know, it was amazing.
So then after Rust, you're back. You've got the festival.
Yeah, got the festival, and I was in rehearsals with a string quartet. Can't even remember the name now. For Vivaldi's Guitar Concerto.
Mm-hmm.
So in the rehearsals, I just knew that things weren't right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just persevered, went on with it. But this is the thing about Dystonia, is that when you're trying to play and your brain is telling you one thing but your muscles is doing a completely different thing, the force that you have to project on these two digits, I'm not joking, you see up there, and you can see me on the festival with a massive big strap around here, because the pain, man, is excruciating because of the tension.
Yeah.
Because when I started to play, the thumb caved in and instantly
It comes over the top.
just comes over the top, and you cannot.
You cannot move. He's locked.
How long do you want it? Where do you want it? I get this side. You can't do that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I have to say, you see, I done the performance.
Yeah.
It was horrible, terrible. I knew that it wasn't that. I just knew it wasn't sounding the way that I would have liked it to sound.
And also the effort that you're having to go to.
The effort was phenomenal.
So you're exhausted, I'm sure, when you come off.
I was ready for a bath. No, I'll tell you. You see, Jerry O'Gorman came up to me after that, and he says, "What the hell is wrong with your thumb?"
So he could see it from the audience.
I mean, I was having to, in mid-concert, replace the thumb with.
Yeah, so you're adjusting. You're thinking that's not working, so I'll start to do this.
Oh, it was one of the worst.
When I've had
things.
that, just in concerts, when you break a nail, the things that guitarists
yes,
have to worry about, and then you're readjusting on the fly. But I mean,
yes,
that's
hard.
That's hard, but this is terrifying. The man that Sean just mentioned, by the way, there, Jerry O'Gorman, is a local luthier here in Northern Ireland, and he attends all the guitar.
He is a complete gentleman.
Since I've moved over, he's been at just about everything, that's
complete
happened.
Gentleman. He's not well too.
Like some beautiful guitars.
Yes, he has.
Gorgeous,
yes, Mr. O'Gorman is the man.
There's so much talent in this part of the world.
Jerry and Keith and Paul O'Neill and quite a few others. I mean, they never missed a guitar festival.
Yeah,
and they all seen my hand that night. They all seen, So I mean, I had to end up going to BAPAM.
Okay. Yes.
To London to get it diagnosed, because the chaps in Belfast, they went, you've got. Carpal tunnel, all the rest of the stuff, And I says, I've never had carpal tunnel before, but I'm telling you now, it's not.
Yeah, it's something different. I mean, the thing is, musicians know their hands so well. Because you're using such fine motor skills and that connectivity between the brain and the fingers, the response time, everything. It's nanoseconds of stuff going on.
It is.
And you know yourself when something's not right. I just played a concert in Canada at the beginning of this year. It was in January. The right time to go to Canada. Do you know what I mean? January, minus whatever. And it was one of the students has started a festival out there. A guy that came to the conservatoire, Tim, and he's doing a great job. But we were shoveling snow the night before the gig. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's that or whatever it is. But in the gig, I was like, things aren't quite. And it just made me think you need to look after these things.
You have to, 100%.
You need to look after these.
And if I can just touch on this,
of course.
Cut a long story short, I got diagnosed with focal dystonia, and it was actually the specialist was actually coming to Belfast. I contacted Bapa in London.
Okay.
They come to Belfast. I went up to their surgery. Took my guitar up with me.
So they could see it in
Yes,
action. Yeah,
they wanted to see
Yeah.
exactly what was happening.
Yeah. That's very good.
And she instantly, the lady just says, you have focal dystonia, and I just went, what is that, like beside Bulgaria or something? Dystonia, what is that? I mean, there's a girl at university when I was at Leeds University doing my the BA. Rachel Siegel, you called her, and she was a cello player, astonishing, a lecturer. But she was also the kind of medical person for musicians and injuries.
Looking after the well-being. Yeah.
Never one time mentioned anything. I never heard that word in my life till that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I mean, this. It didn't hit me till I was coming out of Belfast. I was driving down I had to pull into a hard shoulder, man. I just bawled.
Oh my gosh!
I just bawled, and because I didn't know.
You don't know that.
I knew that I couldn't properly play.
Yeah.
And that was really playing. That was very heavy on me at that time.
Well, it would weigh heavy, so heavy.
But I ended up going to Barcelona.
Okay.
To a clinic there that specialises in focal dystonia for musicians.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I've heard of this place. Yeah. It's very famous. Yeah,
it's very famous. There were a lot of guitar players come through it. I mean, Geraldo Nunez went through it.
The flamenco guitar.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he is really bad. And then he's back on playing.
Yeah.
But he still has it.
So he's
you
managing
can see
it then.
You can see it. You see when he goes, you see his index finger. Because it happens in different directions. His index finger, the minute he starts doing this, does that.
It flicks out the way.
But he's around,
Yeah.
He's a big man.
Yeah,
but this is the thing. My main question, was how did it happen?
Yeah. How did I get this?
How did I get
what
this?
What did I do wrong? Or
Because I didn't change any practice routine. But I did change one thing, and that was the downfall. That was that had an impact on my neurons so badly, man, that it just you see this nail. I mean, every guitarist has their nails.
Yeah, of course.
And they are super sensitive to everything that they touch.
Shape, length, everything.
The shape, the length, the break angle coming up. It's just so. I mean, my nails started to grow out the ways.
So your nail shape changed.
It was my nail shape changed because when my nails normal would be like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just
you've
glides.
got excellent looking nails for a guitarist. I must say they've got a perfect ramp, curve over nicely.
Yeah, well,
I'm quite jealous.
I keep them.
Yeah,
Yeah. But here, Matthew, do you see this little part on here?
Yeah, I do.
There was something growing on there, and it was a nail fungal infection.
All right.
Yeah. So I got loads of stuff on that, and it went away, but the nail shape stayed the same. So this is what I had to do. It was so awkward. I had to take more off the front of the nail.
Okay. Yeah.
And it felt so odd because, I mean, I do like playing with a wee bit of flesh.
Yeah.
But that was too much flesh for me, and it felt really weird.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, that's that'll probably be, sending strange signals back to the brain. The reflex of that's different. Yeah.
So you have this long story, short.
That's great. It's not. It's so.
Sorry.
It is so interesting because I mean, so many people are thinking about their hands, looking after themselves. Think about the amount of guitarists that watch Gallery of Guitar.
Yes.
We'll get to the guitars. We'll get to where we are
plenty
today.
Time for that.
Plenty time. But just hearing from Sean about what you went through, it's actually a privilege to hear you talk about it. So don't ever feel like you need to.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
But I mean,
you're in for a long run now.
But you're on the clock, Okay. Sorry. So your posture.
So basically, posture stayed the same. But here, Yeah. What I had to end up, because this is my playing position here.
Sure.
Yeah. But because of this,
Yeah.
so annoying.
And you've got it different. You've got more flesh exposed.
I've
it's
got
a
more
different
flesh
nail.
exposed, but to get the amount of nail that I was used to, that's what I had to
turning
do.
round a bit.
That's what I done.
Okay, so you've changed.
And I done
the
that for
angle of
3
the
years.
wrist. Okay.
And within them 3 years, it corrupted the original signals.
Well, the messages that you've been sending for, like, say, 27 years, in the last 3 years of that time, it doesn't seem like a huge difference. But think about it with I like to use sport analogies a lot when I'm teaching and things, and also it's just because snooker players, they practice like 6-7 hours a day. They fine motor skills, they're judging scale, distance, speed. They're doing the same thing over and over and over
Even
again.
the weight on their cue at the back of the fingers.
If the cue tip changes, if they get a new tip, so the weight of the cue is the same, the thickness, everything, but just the tip, it can be game over. It can be out of a championship. You know?
Of course.
So even though that doesn't sound like too big adjustment for Sean's right hand, the manifestation of that for the whole process and your reflex. I mean, when I know myself, when I'm well rested and well practiced, and I'm in a gig, I'm not thinking about the notes, and I'm not thinking about all these things. It's a flow state, and you're just really relaxed. But it's a hard gig if you're not, and you're having to think about every single thing. For every single note you play, you know. I mean, that's exhausting.
My last performance was in the Christchurch, and I actually made it a very light performance.
Is that in Derry? Christchurch,
I made it very light, you know, a few piazzolla pieces and
you
know, satay and stuff like
Nice,
that. You know, not too sore on,
programme.
but I mean, there was a demand for This Morning in Oma, the sun rose again.
Beautiful tune, Bill Lovelady,
And
tremolo.
Yeah. And you know,
You had a good tremolo.
I had a very
natural,
finely tuned
natural
tremolo. I didn't have to work that hard on it at all. It did come pretty natural to me.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, a newspaper reporter in the audience that day. It was at lunchtime, a concert. Paul something, can't remember his name, but he wrote for the Oma Cadet or something, or paper.
The paper, the local newspaper.
The local newspaper. And he came up to me afterwards and he goes, because he's heard me play tremolo before.
Okay.
Required DOS, you know, Ultimate Pantheon, you know,
all,
you know, and he says, "What's wrong with your tremolo?
What's going on?" Yeah.
And I just, you know, at that time, I knew it was woeful. Woeful means it was terrible. I just knew it was so bad. I just knew, because there was nothing smooth about it.
Yeah, it
was a struggle the whole way through it. The tension up the arm was just incredible. So I just says, well, I think, you know, that's you know, I may have what they call focal dystonia, and even he says, what is that? You know, so that was it. I couldn't do anything.
So when was
else.
that? When was that concert?
Oh dear. I mean, I have this here now, bloody, or 14 years or something. You know, it's a long time, you know, 12, 13 years or something. I kind of, because, I mean, I used to keep track of it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a few, I have a few YouTube things up about the dystonia.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things, I mean, just before we get into this particular exercise, that minute movement, that motor skills, the fine. Yeah. Now, the very same thing happened to, you know, Sarah Murphy, the flautist.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Well, her friend, because Sarah contacted me, and they're festive flutes in London, and they're astonishing. Yeah. Astonishing musicians. So they're incredible. Yeah. And Sarah contacted me, and she had asked. She says, "Look, what's the deal with this dystonia?" I says, "You don't want to be coming near it." I thought she was going to say herself. Yeah. But her friend, who plays in that quartet, decided that she wanted to do the saxophone
Okay.
instead of, she just wanted to
okay.
learn saxophone.
Yeah.
Done saxophone for
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
She ended
Similar
up
key fingering, yeah.
She ended up, because she had changed her mouth. She was playing all her life.
Yeah.
Embroche.
The embouchure. So
Embouchure,
she changed something.
See all that? Do you see when she went to do this with her flute?
The same thing.
That came off.
Okay.
Oh, it was devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Well, this is it. I mean, the body and the mind suddenly react. I mean, it's so many times I've done this, you've done that. It's like, here we go, and the brain goes, okay, this is what's about to happen.
Yeah, but that's normal.
Yeah.
You would have just went out on stage. You'd have been absolutely. Why am I doing
nervous.
this? Why am I
go.
doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, each time, you can see my nails. I mean, my nails are incredibly hard. So every single time before every performance, I have to go to the bathroom and get hot water because they see when they're hard,
too hard,
they're just
they'll be too bright. Yeah, so you're softening
so
up.
awful, And then while you're in the throes of things,
of course,
the heat and that keeps them nice and soft.
So obviously, I mean, we've talked a little bit about the dystonia there, but that's a huge journey to try and relearn, to play with a bit. You've still obviously got it. Obviously affects you. You don't give public recitals anymore.
No,
you don't give concerts anymore.
It just would be because
Too much.
one thing that dystonia absolutely thrives on: stress.
Yeah.
You one tiny bit of stress.
It's in there.
I remember doing a few private things for these guys and that, and when they're not paying attention,
then
then
you're just background
I'm
music.
off. Yeehaw. Just relax, and you just go with the flow. But to see the second that they pay attention, I'm not joking you, man. Just this involuntary muscle spasm just reeks right through you, man.
It's so interesting you're talking about the stress, and sometimes the difference between amateur and professional, or semi-professional and professional and things like that. It's a funny thing for people to sort of understand where lines are drawn and where things are different and stuff like that. And stress and pressure are one of them. If you're playing for yourself and you're under no pressure and you have no expectations, like you say, maybe when they're talking in a private function kind of gig and you're just playing, it's completely different. It feels entirely different. But when people have paid €25 a head and there's 400 of them in that hall, and there's an expectation and you need to deliver, and people have heard, like, say it's people will have heard people playing on YouTube. They'll have watched the videos before coming to the concert. They'll know the expectation that they have. That's a different level of pressure, Neurologically, that can weigh. And that's interesting you say. So almost for yourself, it would have attached itself to there's the stress and the pressure, which we thrive on as well. Like performers, entertainers,
excuse me,
you thrive on.
Of course, you need that
energy.
You need that stress. Going on stage for me was always. I mean, I literally could have been physically sick backstage.
You have mentioned this to me before, the nerves.
Really,
they were really intense.
Just intense.
But you wouldn't really have noticed that when you came on stage. I would never have thought, Sean's been through the back nearly being sick.
Weird, because they see that sensitivity, they see this, and that they see that touch. That touch just relaxes you, because you know where you're going. You know exactly where you're going.
You've practiced it,
and that's it.
Well, I see it with so many students that I teach, and I've had some really brilliant students, or been with them for a period of their time when they've been educating themselves, and seen how they respond, to stress. Maybe in the practice room, flawless, perfect, and then okay, this is a player that's level, shrinks a wee bit under the spotlights, or shrinks a wee bit when there's an audience there. And then watching how they deal with the nerves, and there was what training did we get for that?
You didn't get training for that.
Zero training.
Because there's nothing you can't be taught.
It's really
you
difficult.
have to learn to use it at your advantage.
And also, and the thing I've seen as well is there is so much more literature about dealing with nerves and dealing with anxiety when you perform. But sometimes for some people, the more and more they read,
the worse
it gets.
I've seen them books. I wouldn't buy one of them things, man. Good God, what's the point?
I know. It just kind of illustrates very clearly how difficult this whole thing is.
Do you know something? They see when I first embarked on the university performance course. I mean, I was you know, I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 years, I was a bricklayer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's an amazing story. Yeah.
And I would have come home in the evening and just footed around and, you know, tried out different things on the guitar, not just simply because I just really enjoyed the sound of it.
Yeah, you loved it.
It wasn't for any other purpose than just to make me happy.
What a beautiful
you know what I mean?
reason to do something.
It got to a level where people were saying, how did you do that? And I was like, well,
I don't know.
I just like that.
I just wiggle my fingers around and it happens. Yeah, exactly.
So, to cut a long story short, I ended we worked in Berlin for 2 years, and when I came back from Berlin as a bricklayer, came back from there, and Bernie says to me, my wife says to me, says, look, because I was always away somewhere working, because the money in Ireland wasn't great.
Yeah, so you're traveling.
You have to travel. You know what I mean? So she says, look, is there anything you can do with that guitar, the music, or anything? You know, and I honestly just went, what?
I'm just playing it for fun. I'm playing it for myself.
What are you on about?
What do you mean? Yeah. How do I turn that into a
I swear. You know what she done? She went out. She's no more of the conversation. She went out and she got a few perspectives for universities over in the mainland. Over on the mainland. So, long story short, my audition was with Graham Wade.
Oh, Graham, yeah, oh gosh.
Graham Wade.
I know, yeah.
I swear, I'm not joking. I have to say this because this is funny. Like, very quickly, I went and I had 3 pieces prepared, you know. And the first piece that I was playing was Verano per Daniel by Piazzolla. And I got about 6 bars in, and he stopped me.
Oh, great.
And I was like, oh, really? Was that bad? Jeez. Because the thing is, I had nothing to judge myself
You have no experience of auditions?
No.
What they're like, what they can be like.
I had just nothing.
Which is brutal.
Very. So, after, I mean, it seemed a long time, but it probably wasn't. I just thought,
you've duffed it. Yeah.
So I said, I took it upon myself to ask them a question. Yeah, and I says, look, is there any reason why you just stopped me in mid flow?
Well, you could write to ask that question.
And I went, was it God? Because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But I was nervous, but I wasn't nervous for playing. I've just been nervous being in the environment.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and he says, because I'd asked him, and I says, what was that bad? And he goes, oh no, not at all. And I says, well, why did you stop me?
Yeah, I've got another 2.5 minutes to go here.
I know. And he goes, well, I've already made the decision. So you're a self-taught performer. So therefore, you have traits that a taught guitarist may not have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you're on the course.
All
We're
right.
accepting
Welcome.
you.
Yeah.
So, and I was, brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I says, but you have to understand, I get on a plane. Yeah, I'm all the way from Northern Ireland. Go on, just let me play these pieces.
Yeah,
and he let me play them.
Oh, good on him. You know, for those,
something he'd become very good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people watching Gallery Guitar will know of who Graham Wade is, but if you don't, you know, a very interesting writer, journalist. You know, he produced quite a lot of reviews and things like that, and articles in the old Classical Guitar magazine, which was a real institution for many years.
And his claim to fame was that he spent a summer in Barcelona with Segovia.
That's it, yeah. And there's a book, you know, he has a lovely book on Segovia.
He was just mad about Segovia, man.
Yeah,
mental about it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember he listened to me playing a competition once, and the whole crit was about not kind of doing the stuff that Segovia did, you know. And it was interesting though, because for me, I was like, well, I did my own stuff, you know. But it was interesting because it did open my ears to like, okay, that older world sound at that particular time. It was actually good to get feedback that was actually useful. Like, even if you disagreed with it, you were like, okay, it's provoking me to at least go and listen to some recordings and think about some of these markings on the score slightly differently. I mean, like, you know, Yeah, very interesting. So
You have to broaden.
you do.
You have to broaden yourself. So you have to go out there
Yeah,
to get in here.
yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you're wasting your time.
Of course. Yeah. We've been discussing quite a lot about the obviously the Dystonia and its onset, and a little bit about your education and things before that, and the career performing on the guitar and running the festival. But obviously, when you can't play the way you wanted to play, you probably wanted to be a wee bit distant from it. You probably wanted to put it away for a while. And tell me about, because you know, it's funny when you keep in touch with other musicians and friends. I could see on Facebook, the festival's not happening, and he's not sharing as much stuff. And then, of course, the paintings arrived. Suddenly, you started putting stuff on, you know, like painting. We'll get to that. It's really fascinating. But Sean started sharing these paintings, and I went, that looks like Caravaggio, or that looks like, what's he doing? Maybe he's going around the art galleries, or maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's into buying paintings now, you know. And then, of course, I'm reading wee bits of text, and it's like, no, you're painting these. These are your own creations, and we'll share some of them, you know, on the video and stuff, so you can see them. Because I mean, your natural talent. It's so funny when you said, you know, from bricklayer to classical guitarist, festival director, dealing with all the things you've sort of dealt with. Your natural creativity and instinct for these things, that comes out in the painting.
You have to reinvent yourself, man. If something happens, you know, and if you lie down and let it happen, then that's when you know, it's life's just not worth. Life's worth more than that, you know. I mean, you know, when the Dystonia come and all the years of exercises with the remapping the neurons. I mean, I used to, and this was religious. This was done to clockwork. Okay. I would have got up at 6:30 in the morning. Right. I'd have made myself a coffee. I'd have been sitting down with the guitar at 6:45. Yeah. And with the guitar at 6:45, this is just one of the remapping systems that I used. I would have had a sleeping mask. Okay. And I would have put that on, sleeping mask, close my eyes, can't see anything, pitch black, sitting with the guitar, and nothing here. Don't have to do anything.
It's just the right hand we're focused on.
And I done that for 2 years religiously. I never missed a day. Oh my gosh. Never missed a day. And I done it for 40 minutes in the morning, and I done it for 20 minutes in the evening. You can't overdo it. But the whole point was to imagine the sensitivity that you had when you were playing. I mean, the exercises, I mean, you make up your own, you know, the clinic gives you
that's a template to follow.
And that's it, and then you go and do your thing. And
that did get you back to some element of being able to address the instrument and play a little bit, because I know I've spent time with you today, even before we're on camera and stuff, and you can still get around the guitar, but I can see that like if that pressure or that stress is to come, you know, or if you're going to do something complicated like a tremolo or something like that, then obviously it's going to kick off, you know.
Tremolos are impossible.
But at least you've got it to somewhere now where you can play a little bit.
You know, I mean,
for yourself.
The thing is that the fact that I'm not performing is, you know, I've put that to bed. I've had to put it to bed, because when I didn't put it to bed, it really it weighed heavy. It was super heavy, man. I found myself in an incredibly dark place. Of course. A place I've never in my life ever been in, and I never thought that I would ever be.
I feel like you're losing something so special to you. I can't imagine, Sean. I mean, like, you know, I've spent thousands of hours with the instrument and with the guitar, and you know, it becomes it's your skin.
It's
it's part of you.
It's not it's not an object that you sit.
No,
you see the minute that goes here, it just melts into your body, man. Every single thing about the vibration of that instrument, how it feels, how it sits, it's like it's another limb. It's simple.
So you're obviously looking for another creative outlet then with the painting.
Yeah.
You're obviously what happened? How did you go from all the exercises and trying to overcome the dystonia to I'm going to put something on canvas now. I'm going to chuck some paint up on that wall.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'll tell you. I can actually give you the sketch that I done that started all this.
Yeah.
Is that I was sitting one day. I used to be the Trinity College London representative for the Trinity College exams, and I was hosting the exams at this point, and at dinner time or the break, I just sat down and I knew in my own head that I just knew I wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
My whole demeanour had changed, attitude had changed, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the reason why it did change is because all the exercising and all the remapping of brain. I mean, I used to sit at the piano like this, playing
right hand on the keyboard.
on the keyboard,
left hand,
playing the bass clef.
Okay.
With the piano, I'm doing this with the guitar.
Oh right, so you're doing something neurologically very different with one hand.
Yeah,
to
because
sort of
it's
create new neural pathways.
Yes,
yeah.
to create because this is a secondary.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
and so that's taken away a little bit. And then I used to get books out, Spanish books, and I used to sit and do exercises and read out loud in Spanish, which I can't speak. I just because you were trying to read. Yeah. It took away what you were doing.
Trying to do something different.
So there was a lot in that, and it worked.
Of course. Yeah.
It worked for some time. Yeah, but just to get back to that now. So when it ended up that I just spent 9 years doing all that, and my heart was broke. My heart was broke. Yeah. So I sat down. I was at the island, and I thought, you know what? I was a very, very good drawer when I was at school.
Clearly, yeah.
I was, but when I was 15, my art teacher had practically secured me a position in Manchester Art College before I'd done anything.
Yeah. So it's recognised your
yes,
talent for
it. Yeah. I mean, and he was brilliant, Mr. Bradley. I mean, I left school with nothing.
Well, Mr. Bradley got a shout there. It's always
Mr. Bradley, he could be dead.
I think it's very important.
No, he's not actually. I know where he is.
It's very important to mention your teachers. That's all I'm saying. Not that I'm saying that to all my students.
Well,
who don't.
I can tell you this here. I can tell you this. If it wasn't for him, I mean, he was brilliant to me. He was absolutely brilliant to me.
Opened a door for you. Yeah?
He really did. I mean, he took me in to his art class and into his art studio and let me sit in there the entire day
and just paint
and just I'd never painted. I never ever painted. I just drew. But once I left school, that was it. That was the end of that. So back to the island, I went up and I thought, I'm just going to see if I could sketch something. And I did. I sketched something, and I thought, let's try this oil painting lark, man, see what the crack is. Just to see if I can see how difficult it really is.
You'll never know unless you try.
And that was it. That's I built myself my own easel. It's a counterweighted easel that moves up, and you just do that with your finger, and it just goes down, and it moves it.
Fantastic.
Counterbalance out of scrap.
Wow.
You got to see that easel. It's pure
that,
class. And then loads of paint, and a few canvases, and it just went from. I couldn't believe how much pushing paint around a canvas made me feel. I just felt so content, really relaxed and content in that, and the rest is history.
Yeah, of course, but it's special. It's so special because it's for you now you have something where you can express yourself, and you can express yourself in a flow state and freely, and there's no dystonia, there's nothing, don't even call it that, there's just nothing impeding the flow or stopping you. You can just get up and start, and people were responding, people were commissioning you to paint.
I know.
There's pictures up in Derry. I've already, I think, been sharing a little bit on the screen. They're incredible.
I've been flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I've sent 3 dogs to Australia. I mean, hello. You know, it's just crazy, man. You know,
brilliant.
Yeah, and yeah, it's yeah.
But isn't it? I think it's so important for people because you can almost be defined by the thing that you do, whether it's like you're a guitarist, right, and therefore you play the guitar, and that comes with all the sort of objective and subjective things and what other people think about it and perspectives and all that kind of stuff, and then you're doing it professionally, so you're holding yourself to such a high level, but it actually, what gets you there is talent. It's a natural talent for art, for creating, for expressing things, for trying to transmit something out to the world and make it a nicer place. Like you said something earlier in this chat that I wanted to just hold on to for a little second before we get to the guitars.
Yes.
I mean, I know we're really putting you through it. You know, we haven't even talked about the guitar yet, but we will get there. But you said something about when you were being a bricklayer in Berlin and you just played guitar for yourself, and that was all it was. It was just, I want to do this for myself, and I want to play. And it makes me think of like the approaches that people have nowadays. You know, we're in 2026, it's a modern world. As you know, I'm still very much involved in education of students that play at a very high level. I remember back when I started at the academy in my first week, I was still questioning not why I was doing what I was doing, but I was never asking the question of what this was going to give me. I was just obsessed with playing the guitar and being artistic and making music. I had no idea what it could potentially ever end up with. Our conversation that we're having now, none of this was ever on my radar. I didn't want to do it for any other reason other than I loved it and I wanted to do it. I had no ambition beyond that. Nowadays, it's the ambition is front. People come to me and say, I need this, this and this and this, and I want to get this, and I want to have this, and I want to have this, and this is essential, I need this, and I kind of go, well, maybe you should go work in a bank, you know, because you've got more chance of achieving those objectives, and keeping your sanity, because you're not putting something that you love on the line to do it.
That's true.
And it's really interesting to hear you talk about that. Just brought home to me, it's like, why does anybody do anything with their life for 20, 30 years? And keep going. They'll only do it if they love it, you know. So it was just, you said that, and I thought, that is exactly. And that focus has changed a little bit. People are putting
today
the cart in front of the horse a bit, you know, these days. You know, and
it's not about loving it.
No,
it's about being better.
Yeah, or it's about what can it get me.
Yeah,
you know.
And
okay,
you know,
I'm not
knocking it. Everybody is entitled to go with what they have inside them. And
also, I'm also thinking to myself, well, you know, people are absolutely entitled to ask those questions because, you know, you have to put food on the table, you have to do these things. But also sometimes I think like those aspects, they come with, you know, if you're so driven and you're really doing it,
package,
those things just come with. They come with as you develop and as you grow. But it was just when you said that. So
they see when I was in Berlin, after about 9 months, you know, I was over for 3 months, back home for a few weeks, and after 9 months I took the guitar over with me, and I'm not joking you, man. I mean, myself and 3 other chaps, Math Matthews from
another Matthew.
I know, Math Matthews.
Math Matthews. I've never had that nickname, thankfully.
Yeah, I mean, he's from Andersonstown here, and 2 brothers, Pat and Stevie. We met each other over there. We never knew each other. You know, we just met each other over there, and we ended up getting this apartment in Ulanderstrasse, which is on Kurfürstendamm.
Wow, yeah. God,
and it was summertime. It was summertime, yeah. And I thought, I'm going to bring my guitar over. So I brought the guitar over, and you know something, it was one of the nicest things, because our apartment was a studio apartment. It was sensational. Right below us, to off to one side, was a Portuguese restaurant, and we had a balcony. And I'd come home from work and I used to sit out in that balcony playing my guitar on a summer evening.
Lovely.
And you know something, it was one of it was just so relaxing. I completely forgot where I was, what I was doing. I just got involved in the music. And Math, Math would always go, Shawnee Bo, go play that wee one. I says, what wee one, Math? No, that wee one. Oh, this wee one. Aye. Oh man. So the very next day, when I come home, the manager of the restaurant come. He just says, look, we've heard you play the guitar. Do you want to come down and play in our restaurant? We'll pay you and blah blah blah.
Yes, please.
And I was like, catch yourself on, sir. No, man. I didn't. Because I mean,
you didn't go down. You didn't play.
No. That was for me.
Okay. Yeah.
That was for my own.
Yeah.
I just thought, I'm not going down there to play guitar and people sitting eating. I mean, this was before anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So actually, at that point,
I was
you're like,
probably
this is my
9 years into playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Just in the evening to myself.
Yeah.
And I just loved it.
Yeah. So it's
absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So, sorry, we
I know
many tangents will be going on. So we're
sorry.
No, don't apologise for anything. So the painting's become a huge thing, and that's obviously that went on for a few years. And you're still painting.
I'm still painting.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
But you're obviously missing the guitar. You're obviously missing. I mean, as someone who was doing the Trinity exams and seeing students and enabling all that to happen, and to somebody who was running a festival and inviting all these great people to come to Derry and your city and play, and then the people that came to study during the festivals. You must have been missing having the connectivity with the instrument. So now you've actually found a way.
I know
of becoming.
I can't believe
right
it. I mean, I'm just
right back in it.
It's just seems real.
But it's beautiful. It's brilliant. So tell me about it. This is your first.
That's my first.
This is your first guitar you've ever made, and it's a labour of love.
It was a labour of love. Yeah. I mean, I took my time. I was I was in no rush. Yeah. There was no. I had no expectations. Yeah. As I said before, a guy brought a guitar in, a Martin guitar, Eric Clapton signature guitar.
Okay. Yeah.
It was £4,500, and it looked like a herd of cows had just trampled on it.
You got it to your studio.
It really was unbelievable. Yeah.
And he was asking you to have a look at what could you do if he stood
guys in his apartment stood on it.
Okay.
Purposely. The guy that I'm talking about was my son.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he had a bad time lapse at a point, but he loved his guitars.
Yeah.
And he had quite a few of them, and he bought that, and he was so pleased with it.
Yeah,
so he just
beautiful guitar.
had a few boys around one night, and they got all, and then they stood on it. It was awful, disgusting.
Yeah.
I've took photographs of it before I touched it, and he says, "Look, is there any way that you could do something with it?" See when you broke it around to me, it was covered in Evo stick.
He tried to do something, try to stick it back together again.
Oh, it was hilarious, man! I swear to God. So this is what got me into. I started to take about. I mean, obviously, I didn't know how to build a guitar. I didn't. Sometimes, I mean, I just thought, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I went on to the old YouTube.
Yeah.
And seen a few. I said, well, how am I going to get that How am I going to get that fingerboard off?
You're going to fix this thing, yeah?
Iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just hot iron, man, softens the glue. Up she comes, no bother at all. I mean, round the sides, I had put a tea towel round the sides to get the purflings off and the bindings. Okay. And let me tell you, £4,500 for a guitar.
Yeah.
And plastic bindings. What's all that about, man?
Well, you'll have to take that with Martin, eh?
That's not good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, cut a long story short, I got the top off because the top had a massive big. It was just broke the whole way down there.
Okay.
They had 3 breaks at the back. One side was completely mangled; it was just bits, and the other side was hanging off. So, I just, I like a challenge.
Yeah, you thought you didn't think there's no hope. You should.
No, I didn't think there's any hope actually.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but you see, when I took the top off and I seen this X brace.
Oh yeah, the Martin.
The Martin X brace thing. So I done a wee bit of research into that, and I thought, geez, there's not much inside this thing. Like,
Okay, yeah.
I would have a bash at building one of these bad boys. And so
Brilliant.
there we go.
Okay, brilliant. But I mean, so you haven't gone to Andalusia, you haven't gone to Australia to see Greg Smallman, you haven't, gone to Ramirez or anything. You've got on the YouTube, which is, I think, amazing.
Pablo Requena is
yeah.
a guitar maker in Malaga.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never spoke to him, but I've watched his videos.
Yeah.
And I thought they were incredible.
Okay, so you were drawn to him.
I was drawn to him,
brilliant.
and then a chap in America, and his name was David Schramm.
Oh, Schramm, yeah. David
from ShrammGuitars.com.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. I swear, he just makes me laugh. But I mean, this man makes guitars in his back garden on a cast iron table, round table, and it moves around all over the place. But he is incredible. Yeah. So it was kind of like the painting. I mean, when I started the painting, I done a few sketches, a few drawings, and a few paintings, and that, of different things. But I have to challenge me. I can't just paint. Yeah. It has to be something that is a challenge. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, I took on the challenge of painting Caravaggio's Doubting Thomas.
As you would, yeah.
As you would.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so just build the Eiffel Tower.
I was just, I was really surprised actually of how what I'm just going to have to say it.
Just say it.
How easy it was.
Okay.
I just couldn't. I just was like, what? What's all the fuss about? Like,
right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you understand light and shade. It's you understand
colour,
the light and
sound,
shade. The darker it is, the further it is away. The lighter it is, the closer it is to you. I mean, hello.
It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science, but anyway, I mean, I ended up doing that, and I really liked it, so I kept challenging myself with big paintings. So it was the same with the guitar. I said to myself, right, I'm going to build a guitar.
But you had two ways to go here, because you've gone for, I mean, there's a whole host of bits and pieces down here, and we're going to get closer in a minute, just to sort of talk about them. But you've definitely started in a very contemporary way. Yeah. Maybe that's because the Martin was destroyed and you went in and you saw the expiration inside, but you haven't gone the traditional, let's say, Andalusian classical guitar method. You've gone the more contemporary Greg Smallman, double top, and we'll talk about these things, which is very interesting for me as well, because as a player, I play the other side of the coin. I play the more traditional, traditionally Spanish kind of like
fan-based
guitars, and with a lot of traditional methods. So I'm fascinated as well, because this is the other way.
Well, let me just correct you, Matthew.
Please correct me. I would love to be corrected.
That's not a double top guitar.
Exactly.
That's a lattice brace guitar.
My apologies.
There are two different things.
Completely. Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, so I always have to. That's the way I am. I have to challenge. It has to be the hardest thing. To do. And then try and get through it.
So that's your motivation.
That's
is
just
I've got to try and
the
do
motivation.
This,
And obviously the Martin guitar, the broken Martin guitar, kind of set me on that. But I mean, I think I might have been going that direction anyways, because the painting really helped me a lot mentally, with the absence of playing the guitar.
Of course.
It super did. But I mean, about 6, maybe a year, I kind of got bored. I got really bored, and I said, I have to do something else.
It's not the guitar as well. It's not the guitar.
It's not the guitar, and I really missed just touching
the sound, the touch, everything.
It sounds really creepy, it really does sound creepy. But I mean, to understand, that's my soulmate. It's just really weird to say that. I mean, I love my wife dearly. She is the best girl ever happened. But that's my soulmate. So I just thought, I need to get back to the guitar. I really need to be involved in the guitar in some shape or form. And I just thought, as a performer for 30 years, that I maybe could add something a little different that all the big boys. Now, I'm not, and this is not to say all the big boys are there because they are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, their hands
great
are
guitar makers.
astonishing.
Yeah, of course.
Really, really. But I thought, let's do a challenge. So I went.
But also,
and
perspective
myself,
as a player, there are very few guitar makers out there who have had professional classical guitar careers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure there will be some, and please in the comments, people will say. I know guitar makers who can play a little bit, like Michael, my guitar maker, Michael Ritchie. He can play the guitar, so he can string it up, and then he can try everything and see what's in. He can play some pieces, and you know, he worked a lot with bands and stuff like that when he was younger, so he understands.
Good ear.
Exactly. But I also know guitar makers that, to be honest, like.
They
They just hand it over to you and they go, look, I have no idea, and then you go, wow, you've managed to make a really nice instrument. But
I played a guitar not so long ago. A friend of mine's had purchased it, and it was the first time it ever happened to me. Actually, I won't mention any names because I mean it's all. I mean, I'm not a woodworker. You know, I think I'm becoming a woodworker, but. I'm a guitarist, and I need to know that the player hears exactly what they want to hear from their instrument. But this guitar was super loud. The loudest. I think it was louder than Curtis Bonnell's Greg Smallman.
Okay, so
it was really super loud, and I thought that was quite astonishing. But the one thing that really turned me off it was its trebles. The treble strings were in control. You couldn't control them.
Okay,
they were just too bright. They were. I mean, you would have had to work. You can create the sweetest sound on the guitar. You would have. I think you would have had. You would have made it. But you would have had to work for it.
I'd have been exhausted,
You would have had to work for
to try and round
I
it
found
off.
it really difficult. I just thought, God, why is it?
Well, sometimes when people go for a really projecting bright treble, which is often akin to a lot of Spanish, you know, like think about flamenco and that biting kind of cutting through tone. It can get to the point where you can't round the edge off, and it's just too bright.
It's too much. And I just thought, whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. So you're bringing your perspective as a player to this experience of making. Okay.
I'm just a new kid on the block. New kid on the block.
I'm glad you're back.
I have a lot to learn.
I
have a lot to learn, but I learnt so much building that.
You had said you wanted a challenge, so you'd really gone for it with this first guitar, and I'd said, the method that you chose was interesting because you went more for this Greg Smallman approach. So talk a little bit about what that is for people, because I already got it wrong. Double top and lattice. I already made a mistake. First mistake of the day.
Well, I mean, this guitar, this is a lattice brace guitar, and it has a detachable neck, and it has an adjustable neck. So that whole neck comes off that guitar.
Okay.
It's not glued onto it. It's not screwed onto it. It's just put on with the weight of the strings, with the tension of the strings.
That's what's holding it on.
That's what's holding it on.
Okay, that's terrifying.
But today, and you can see inside the other sound port that I have for that, there is a retaining plastic bolt.
Okay.
And that, just because I was having I had nightmares about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to fall apart. So inside this guitar, so lattice brace guitar is this. This is simply balsa wood.
Okay.
Yeah, which is super soft. But there's more air in this. It comes from the balsa tree in South America.
Okay.
There's more air in this wood than there is fibre.
Okay.
You know,
let me feel the weight. Oh yeah, it's like.
It's
made my hand any heavier actually. Okay. So, and the purpose of this is?
The purpose of this is that, obviously, this is carbon fibre and epoxy resin. That's where that sits.
Okay.
Right there. And that dark spot is just to reinforce where the bridge is.
Right. Okay.
And just for security purposes, because, first guitar, I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to come apart. So I fashioned 2 pins out of the ebony from the neck,
right?
And I have 2 pins that go right down through there, and I have them laid out so they're drilled through the carbon fibre, and they go right through the carbon fibre, and then they're filled with epoxy and resin on the other side. So
that gives you a bit more security around.
More security, yeah.
Yeah,
So
the bridge,
I mean,
okay.
with the tension on the strings.
Wow.
So, and then I decided to make the wings of the bridge like 2 mil thinner than the standard classical guitar.
Yeah, I noticed that actually when you brought it out today, that it's very, very thin.
It's super thin.
Here, where
Yep.
the bridge, yeah. I mean,
Well,
almost going, onto the soundboard. So that is
that sits in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is glued to the underside of this.
Yeah.
And there is a 25-foot radius put on it. Yeah. And that is to say that there's a radius on the guitar here from the bridge. This bridge, the underside of that bridge that's glued, has also a 25-foot radius. That's not a flat bridge. That bridge is like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because bridges are not flat.
Bridges are not flat. So, but wait a minute. So you're using the lattice, and you're using the balsa wood, and then obviously the carbon fibre.
Carbon fibre, that's important.
Because you're wanting to make the top of the guitar
as thin
as you possibly
can get it.
Okay, so it's not fan braces like a traditional guitar that would be like on mine, and obviously then that would support the top that way. This is supporting the top in this lattice shape with the carbon fibre, going really light with the this balsa wood, and obviously this is getting really.
This gets tapered right down
okay.
to nothing. I mean,
so then the top of the guitar. I mean, when I touch it, I can feel how hollow it is, like a drum skin.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite.
But that's the purpose.
Okay.
That's the whole. For me, the purpose of this is to make it like a drum top.
Okay.
Because when you hit it, it has to do this.
Move up and down. Vibrate.
It has to vibrate like this. So to get it to vibrate like that, that you have to be super, super thin. Now I can tell you that this guitar, the side on the edges of this lower bout, this is 0.5 millimeters thick. That's how thick it is.
Okay.
It gets a little thicker here because we need some strength.
Yeah, with the strings going.
You know, and I have a little bit here that's reinforced inside there because this point on the guitar is probably one of the most delicate points because it takes all the stress of the strings.
Okay.
Because when you're pulling here, pulling there and trying to take that off is a very difficult thing. Yeah. To pull on that because it's well glued. But here,
so this is
that's the
potential.
Tension. So you have to be very careful there. So I mean, there is. I mean, if you take a look at this, I'll do it this way because these four here. Look, that's the way that goes there, and it goes right close to the sound hole.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. So that's
so
right
they
underneath
get
the
tapered down onto nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, literally, when they're glued to the underside of this, they're glued with epoxy resin, and on this occasion, it's 12-toe carbon fibre.
Okay.
Yeah, that's this black stuff
and toe here.
Toe is the strength.
The strength.
That's
okay. So 12 is stronger than 11. 12 going up in strength. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it literally is. Well, I mean, here, look. You see, I bring a wee sample for you.
Okay.
You see, look after you see some. So that is 12-toe carbon fibre, black.
Okay, so that across the top.
Yeah.
And then you've got some of this balsa wood underneath. So then if I'm doing this to try and bend it.
That's pretty strong.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah. Now, you have to think about this. Yeah. That there is glued to this underside.
Okay.
And then on top of this, on top, once it's glued on top of that again, every single one of them.
Okay.
There's 6-toe carbon fibre.
Okay.
Now the toe is the strength of it, and that means the 12-toe is there's 12,000 tiny little strands of fibre.
Okay. Giving it that security.
Giving it that security, and mixed with epoxy resin, it's.
Yeah. And so this is what Greg Smallman went into when he started to
That's
develop.
what Greg Smallman done.
Yeah, and John Williams
the
obviously.
very same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Identical, because you see that clip that when Williams went to Australia,
out in the outback, driving that was great.
you know, I've watched that a million times. I'm not joking you. I have freeze-framed that, and I have photographed, and I have enlarged. I've counted how many squares. It's just incredible. I mean, without YouTube, not a chance would I have been, building that. Anywho.
Okay, so you've got the adjustable neck. You're using the lattice. You're using the carbon fibre.
Yeah.
You're going for that very contemporary way of building. Inspired a little bit by looking in the back of the Martin or underneath and seeing all of that when the guitar was damaged.
Yes.
What other things has this got on it that's...
well, this has got the rosette. The rosette is not a conventional rosette.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's got a very three-dimensional kind of...
it was a lot more.
Okay.
It had a real trough on that. The height. Yeah. The height of it. It's terrible. Being a sound engineer for 20 years, at my own recording studio, I understand how sound waves work. Not sound, the sound waves. And this here at its height, was really, what it did to the sound when you the energy, when you strike that sound on this rosette, because it had like a mound the whole way around.
It was very pronounced all the way around.
Very super pronounced.
Yeah, and you can probably still see that. I'm sure.
It is. You can still see it.
There's a not a ridge, but there's a mound.
It's a mound.
Right word.
A mound on it.
Yeah.
Now that mound was That mound was probably about 2 mil higher than that. But what it did, I knew it was going to do something. I mean, you have to think about how sound pressure waves work very quickly. Simply, when the sound comes out of there, these peaks around there direct the sound.
Okay.
Not so much this way, but funnel it like that. And that's a sound wave.
I'm thinking like things like Turnavoss that people used to put inside the sound hole.
Yes.
But this is obviously external because
very good for
raised.
recording. Very precise for recording. You don't have to think about putting your mics at the 12th fret anymore.
Okay.
You know, the standard things you don't do that. But the thing about this, is that it is epoxy resin, and inside that epoxy resin, there is the fingerboard.
The ebony.
I've got bits of the purflings, bits of the bindings, and shavings and sawdust from all parts of the guitar.
So everything is
in there. And then I looked at it, and this is not the first one. This is probably one of 15.
Okay.
Because I had to get the measurements right. The measurements right in a way. This is gold. You can see the gold leaf.
Yeah, I can see.
I had to put the gold leaf in it because I like gold leaf. It's stunning. So
it reminds me very much of like a. It's funny because you said coming from Martin and stuff like that. It reminds me of a folk kind of rosette or like a folk guitar kind of rosette. It's not a classical rosette to me. It's much more. And if you think of your influence from the painting, there's something in it that's very different.
It had to be artistic. Yeah. Honestly, the rosettes. I couldn't make one of them things, man. Have you seen how they're made? I probably could.
Of course.
I've actually I started one, and I thought, this is going to be really lovely, but it's just super time consuming.
It's a very, very long process.
So I just thought, you know what, Shawnee boy, let's do something brand new.
Okay.
So this is what I've done. This is what I thought about. This here mold. This is the very first one. Oh no, sorry, it's not the very first one. It's probably the 9th or 10th, and that's when I was getting it right.
Okay.
Do that. You see that? That's epoxy resin, man.
Okay.
That when epoxy resin cures, it's like concrete. Yeah. That's not concrete.
No, that's moving.
Now, do you see when that gets sanded down to 1 millimeter? It's super, super flexible.
Okay.
So this rosette moves with that guitar, with that soundboard.
Okay.
It moves with it. There's no restriction. It's not going to hold the notes back here. and that's super thin in there too.
Yeah.
So what I had to do, obviously, this here is actually the lid of the green frog tape. That's what that is. I just thought I need a mold.
Yeah.
I had to try these things out.
Yeah.
So I tried it out, and let me tell you, it took me a fair while to get the proportions right. The mix.
Okay.
Because when you have resin and hardener, you have to get, it has to cure.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you mix it in a way where there's more resin than hardener, then you have a possibility of it just always being sticky.
Yeah.
So you can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not joking you, man. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I got it. I got the ratios right.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's cured, nice and hard, but it's flex.
Yeah.
When that's filed down, it's flexible.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no stickiness on that.
No, not at all.
So
okay.
So,
wow.
And I just thought, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Why
There's
not?
So many things going
I love
on.
gold leaf.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so and the other thing is that it wasn't supposed to be. I mean, I didn't make this to be the loudest guitar in the world.
No.
It's not about that. It was about a balance of sound. So I had a few ideas and a few things. I always understood that mass is less.
Okay.
So the more mass you have, the
less
more
sound
material you have,
Yeah.
the less sound.
Yeah. Okay. So you're adding weight and you're adding mass, so therefore you're taking away.
I'm taking that
sound.
away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the purpose of, I know this was going to be super thin, and I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you. So I have two Indian rosewood plates in here, inside that.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I put them in there is because it was going to dampen the guitar down. So it then left me the ability to balance the guitar.
Okay.
No, to
go in and then change
to get in,
and adjust.
take the neck off,
Okay.
as process. Strings off, neck off. And I'm not joking you, I swear, they see, it's a wonder it's still not there. You see with the shaving and the sanding, I built this wee device then to actually it was like a plane
Go inside.
to get it off a little bit quicker than what I was doing. And I have to say, I got to a stage on the basses where I just went, ooh, so juicy.
Yeah.
I just thought, wow, I'm not touching that. I really like that.
Yeah.
So, with the trebles, the trebles were super weak now. I have to say they weren't particularly strong. So, I took some mass away in here, and each time I did, I strung it up, played it, and I went, ooh, and I noticed, now I made graphic recordings of these, so that you could see, the wave, the EQ on them, and each time that the spike got higher and higher, so the frequency, the frequency was getting better. So and then I was happy with that, but the G string,
So you're still
I had
away.
some fight with him. But I noticed one thing. You see these wings. These wings are thin, but it allows me to take a little bit more off them. And I'm not. This is all brand new to me. Yeah, I thought if I don't do it, and I won't know. So I shaved a bit off here, and this here just started to pop out a wee bit more. And I didn't want to shave too much off, so I thought what I'll do is that I'll take a little bit off here and a little bit more here, because when you strike one of the strings, round this area here, if you have mass there, then it will weaken this. Yeah. So what I had to do is to bring that to where it is now, which is not. It's not 100%. I'm not saying it's 100%. What I had to do, I had to fashion a device Yeah, that I had to be really super careful. I mean, I had a video. I took a video from inside it.
Okay.
So I could get the right because this is what I was doing. I was actually scraping off the epoxy.
Okay.
And taking it right down to the carbon fibre to loosen it.
Okay.
And it did. I mean, all this here is all a science.
Yeah.
And this science is brand new to me.
Yeah.
Really brand new.
So in a way,
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So in a way, like, you're this first guitar has been
a labour of torture.
Well, yeah, but also it's you discovering this method. I mean, you've chosen obviously a very challenging method to go. Not that the traditional guitar build would have been probably any easier with all
definitely
the experience,
not.
you know.
Definitely not.
And probably you might find yourself trying that at some point as well. You know,
I don't know.
You know,
because I don't know because they see. I mean, I built myself a Solaire, which is for the making of the traditional guitars because this is glued to the top.
Yeah.
That itself is an art. That's a science.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not too sure. I like the thought of the adjustable neck.
Yeah.
Or adjustable fingerboard and the movable neck because this then is. I mean, there is vibration on that, but when you strike here, the energy that goes right through this bone onto that. I mean, the thinner this is. I think the better because it lets all this loose. It lets all loose. So when the energy comes there, and when you strike this, I mean, you'll feel it yourself. You can feel it a tiny little bit going up the neck. If you do it on a standard guitar, you will feel a lot of energy on the neck. So you're lost in it. So in my head, I want to keep the energy here.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Just want to keep the energy here. If it works, I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
and then you've
just
got
trial and error.
Yeah, of course. And then you've got this a hole in the side.
I swear, I know.
Why have you got a hole in the side, John?
I have a hole in the side, but look, I've got a cap for it.
Wow.
Yeah. This cap now. I'm waiting on my magnets coming.
Yeah.
On the underside of this, there'll be a very dark red velvet. So what happens is that this goes on, has a cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sound port, isn't it?
A sound port. Yeah. Now, I kid you not, I never thought that these worked, but they do.
It's interesting. I'm still kind of. You can definitely hear it as a player differently when you're sitting behind it with the sound port.
You see, for about 2 months, I played that guitar there, and I was going, God, why can't I hear what everybody else is hearing? Okay. And I couldn't hear. Oops. Because that's just sitting on there. I couldn't hear it. Now, don't bother putting it back. No, because all the projection was going this way. Yeah. And because of the sides and the back of this guitar, they're sandwiched. That's not single piece of wood.
Ah, okay.
That contributes to the weight as well.
Yeah.
But what it does is it stops the energy leaving and concentrating here. Yeah. So this is, I mean, when you say laminated, that's exactly what it is. It's just making 2D yellow. But I mean, this is not. Yeah. This is really heavy rosewood. Like it took me quite a while to get that. I had to build a mold to get it. So inside it is African blackwood. You've got African blackwood back and sides on the inside, and on the outside you've got Indian rosewood. Yeah, okay. So that it kind of concentrates the sound, and that obviously makes it the guitar very dark. Yeah. There is a dark sound off that guitar. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it being your first guitar as well, you're going to experiment with so much stuff, and you've given yourself so many areas on the instrument to experiment. I mean, it's There's one thing about this guitar here that I'm not sure. I haven't done enough research on it to quote on it. But you see that guitar as you see it right now. I mean, obviously the back and the sides are not finished because I knew people was going to be coming to have a go at it. and if they had it damaged it or scraped it or something, then I would have to take the whole thing, and I just I can't cope with that. So so it's not finished just yet. But it's very easy to finish, and it's very easy. Now I have COPD.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. So any I can't do aerosols or anything like that, man, because it's a killer. I mean, I've got my big masks, face masks, now, with spaceman. You know, I've got all that. Yeah. But you see, this is finished, just about.
That's it looks lovely.
And it looks lovely. Feel it.
Yeah, it feels like the wood.
It feels like wood. Doesn't feel like glass.
No, it feels like the wood. Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, please do.
I swear, I come across this totally by accident because I was never a big fan of the big high glosses. I mean, I think it looks stunning on guitars. It really, really does. But when you put that much nitro on a guitar, I mean, it doesn't allow it to breathe. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Definitely 100% not saying that, because they're stunning. But because of the process of it, I didn't want to get my lungs involved and all that. So I was thinking of a way of how am I going to get this to shine a wee bit better. Jeez, man, I tell you, I come across I'll tell you what I have in my studio now. My recording studio is turned into a guitar shop.
A guitar workshop.
Ridiculous. I have boiled linseed oil.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can use. I've done it. I've done all. That's why it took me so long, man. Because I done all the tests myself. Anything that I read, I have to test.
Okay.
To see if it actually does work.
Yeah.
Some things do, 90%. Things don't. So you can, if you use boiled linseed oil, you'll get a nice matte finish. If you use refined linseed oil, you'll get a very high gloss finish.
Okay.
But this is the thing, they have to be mixed with beeswax, natural beeswax, and pine tree resin.
Okay.
So
that's what your finish is?
That's what my finish is.
Pine tree resin, natural beeswax, and boiled linseed oil. Okay. Wow.
And it's I put it on a double boiler. Pot of hot water. Another pot inside it. Put the resin in first. It takes the longest time. And then I just shaved on the beeswax. The beeswax is in like soap bars. It's class. You know. Sometimes you just went, but it's pure natural, man. So and then obviously.
Well, you know, I've seen Michael, my guitar maker, doing a lot of oil finishes. So they're just they're just like in the wood almost, and they're lovely.
Yes.
They sound amazing, and they're very open and very wooden sounding. I mean, at the moment I've got a French polished one, which is great, but what always happens is concert after concert, sweating under the lights, it goes, and it can obviously be touched up and stuff like that. But there's something very attractive when makers do go for.
There's something supernatural about
that.
Not supernatural.
Not like spooky.
Natural. Something natural about that.
I don't think we'd be going supernatural in this chat.
So I mean, as opposed to sanding the top down with 400 grit or 1000 grit and going higher and higher and higher. That's for the wood. It's not nice. So that is sanded with 320 grit.
Okay.
320 grit. That's what that's sanded with, and it has to be because the pores need to be open. The fibres have to be open for the oil to penetrate. And when you put that oil on when it's lukewarm, and it just sinks. I have 3 coats on that, and it just sinks. The first coat just sunk clean and just sucked it up, and the thing, second coat, third coat. Oh, this is it.
It's coming now.
This is it. But do you know how you polish that? No. And you know something, I was really raging at myself just this second because I forgot to bring it. But you polish that there. You don't polish it. The top of this, you burnish it.
Okay, which is
it's kind of like you see when you fit gold, when you put proper gold leaf, 24 karat gold leaf, when you put that on a frame, as I did with that painting of mine, you have to burnish the gold leaf afterwards, because burnishing it just makes it incredibly bright.
But what is burnishing?
Burnishing is there's a burnishing stone you use for the gold leaf.
All right, okay.
Now, if you went down to your local river, and come across a nice smooth stone, I mean, you've got to understand that stone's been running around there for hundreds of thousands of years, and it's smooth as a baby's bum. Or sorry. It is as smooth as you can possibly get it. But this technique I found not from guitar makers, from woodworkers, and the woodworkers I found it from were the Amish community. The Amish, this is how they treat all their wood. I mean, they make their own furniture and stuff, and they sell a lot of stuff and that, you know. There's nothing that is man-made touches their wood. They finish all their wood with that process I just said, them 3 items. But you know how they burnish it? My God, I said, nah, this is not going to work. It just can't. But it did. Wow. A brown paper bag. It has to be brown.
Okay.
Brown paper bag. Do you see the brown paper that you get in your boxes from Amazon? That's folded up. You know, to big massive box that size, and the item in size is that size.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's full of paper.
Do you see that? You see when you fold that up, that's as close as natural tree fibre as you're going to get.
But that's only guitar one. So you've now got guitar. Your mind is now going towards guitar.
Guitar two is
right. Go on then. Tell us.
The top of guitar two is there.
Okay.
It's done.
Okay.
So guitar two.
Spruce?
No. Yes. It's a spruce top.
Okay.
Because I wanted a little bit brighter. That's super nice and dark and milky and that. But with this guitar, the lattice here, this upper bout here, this top is actually glued solid to like a chassis, a frame underneath that. That's why it's so heavy. And that frame is to support the neck. Because you put an Allen key in there. It's weird. You put an Allen key in, and again, it's I mean, Greg Smallman came up with that, and it's just for me. It really makes a lot of sense because you can adjust. I mean, you as a world guitarist, and you're running around the world, and you're in different temperatures all the time. Now, I mean, I didn't run around the world that much. I went and played at concerts and stuff. But any time that I did, I had to take 3 saddle boards with me because I noticed the difference with the guitar. This, you don't need to take 3 saddle boards.
Exactly.
You just Allen key. You bring an Allen key. And you just lower or raise as needed, and it makes a big difference. But anyways, so there's one thing I noticed. The lattice just goes here on this lower bout. So I just thought to myself, that it still seems the sound. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful sound of the guitar. But I still feel that it's trapped a wee bit.
So you want to?
I just feel it's trapped. So here's one I done earlier. So this is my new lattice.
You're going to have this all over your house now. Do you know what I mean? I can imagine. Is that everywhere you go, you're going to have this.
I mean, this is a painstaking process. I have to say.
So you've gone from. Wait a minute. I'll just grab the other one.
Of course.
So folk can compare and contrast.
So we've gone from that,
which was just on that bottom
lower
bout,
and
then now you're going
this
to.
This is a lattice. Let me see where are we? Because I have I can't see. All right, this. But you have to number every.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay.
You have to get them in the right place.
That
lattice. I mean, it really looks weird. It really does. That's going the whole way up the guitar, because I don't want the top, that upper bout,
Okay.
I want losing its vibrations. Yeah, because it's just flat against that piece of birch. So this the whole object of this is, again, it's built the exact same way as that, but I now know that the 12 toe carbon fibre, far too strong.
Okay.
Far too strong. I mean, obviously you have to take chances, like.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's too strong because the work I had to do inside that after the 12, I practically took it all off.
Amazing.
So it's going to be 6 toe and 6 toe, one on the bottom and one on the top.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's going to get stuck to that and the whole guitar. Yeah, and again, it'll be tapered down into nothing.
But then you won't have this heaviness that you have up here because you'll have taken it all the way underneath the whole soundboard.
Yes, yeah, but I have to have something up here because it's going to be an adjustable neck.
And as far as you know, is that different to Smallman? Smallman's got it down here but doesn't carry it on, or maybe...
Oh no, he doesn't carry it on.
Okay, yeah,
no,
so that's
no,
it.
he definitely doesn't carry it on.
Okay.
I mean, his now, I mean, that's glued together with Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue.
Yeah,
okay.
and it has to be.
Yeah, I
Gorilla
use that
Glue.
for my nails sometimes when they
Simply
get
because I mean, you know, it's not cut. I mean, they see the cuts in that. It's just done with a file.
Yeah.
They're not cut with a saw or anything. So I mean, it's not a precise cut.
Yeah.
So to fill the gaps, Gorilla Glue, put that on, spritz it with a wee bit of water, and because Gorilla Glue expands 3 times the size of itself. It's kind of like expanding foam.
Oh yeah, like insulation.
And it's
yeah.
proper. You know, it's only to hold that together.
Yeah.
It's not for any other purposes.
Yeah.
Because the carbon fibre and the epoxy.
That's what's going to
do. That's the guy that's going to do that.
It's just like science fiction to me. It's like, you know, I played the most traditional style of guitars ever, so it's fascinating to think that all this stuff is actually going on inside the instrument. You know.
But I really do. I just know by playing this guitar that if this was to move,
did you open that up as
it would just really open it up a lot, and that's the whole point of that.
So, and you've got some new different woods that you're going to use for number 2.
Yes, this guitar number 2. This is the back of guitar number 2.
Oh, that looks
now, be careful now, because this is such beautiful wood.
Okay.
Yeah, it may shock you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I can turn it around to the camera this way.
Yeah, of course.
Because this is going to be, this is the upper bout and the lower bout.
Yeah.
So this is South American.
There we go. Wow.
South American black limba.
Black limba. Well, that's gorgeous. Look at
it is stunning, and I'm not joking. Did you see when when the oil gets on that?
Well, I was thinking that when you finish that, that's going to look beautiful.
So that's
your
back.
back. Yeah. And you're going spruce on the top of this one, so nice light.
These are the sides. Check this out. You have to do this. This is ridiculous. Check this out. Yeah. So with all the cuts and all the measurements and everything else, this is the sides of the guitar, which is the same material. Yeah. Look at that.
Beautiful.
And look at that, man.
That's going to look gorgeous.
That is such a great book match.
So this is, say again, it was limba.
Limba. South American limba. Limba marina. So I mean, and I bent them with a bending iron. And
this
then
is your neck.
I last minute.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do a Spanish cedar neck.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Look at that.
He's very proud of his work.
That, man.
He's very proud of his
Man,
work.
that is stunning piece of wood there.
That's gorgeous.
That's the neck.
So this is the next one.
The neck, and obviously there was a scarf joint there, pulled back in it. So that's the next one.
Yeah.
That's scarf. This is a scarf joint as well. It's called.
And what's in this tiny little bag?
This tiny little. It looks like saffron.
Yeah,
but
it's
not.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I took it off. I have a massive big Japanese acer at my front garden.
Oh, right, okay.
Front garden.
Very
and it
nice,
is, I'm not joking, it is a stunning tree when it's in full bloom. Like, and the colour is just, there's so many different colours of deep purple, red and stuff in it.
Gorgeous.
So this bad boy is going into the rosette.
Oh, see, at the gold leaf in this one, you're going to have the red.
I'm going to have
the purple lace.
I'm going to have gold leaf too, because I like gold leaf.
Very nice.
Gold leaf is beautiful. I just like it. So that's going to be part of the rosette on it. The headstocks, this rosette will continue where that part. It'll continue there, but it will be the same as this. It'll be raised.
Okay. Yeah.
So just because I want to.
Yeah.
Because I can. There's no rules.
Well,
there's no rules.
No, and it's such a voyage of discovery.
Huge.
And I must say that from the perspective of having known you for a long time.
Long time.
Thinking back to days in Ilkley.
I know.
And guitar festivals and going down and
that's where I was a second year student.
Yeah, and I got my first guitar. I got a Bert Quapple guitar. You got
I got one too.
Amanda Cook. There was all these players
Luigi.
around that time. Yeah.
Wow.
Alan.
Wow.
Loads of people playing those guitars and going down to Leeds and Ilkley and stuff.
God, we hung about in some great circles.
We did indeed, yeah. And but it's, and then seeing your performance career and then your festival and all the things that Sean's done, and then obviously I spotted the painting and I thought okay, and I knew about the Dystonia and I thought he might be drifting away a wee bit from the guitar. So to see this, what you've created with your first guitar, and to see the passion that you speak about it with, and how much you're getting from just learning and the experience and everything like that, and of course isn't it lovely when we have another guitar maker around as well? Like
well,
who knows? That's me signing you up to be a guitar maker now.
You're
going to have a go at this.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact, because that that has given me such pleasure, man. Yeah. I mean, even all the intricacy working on that, and making mistakes and doing things different and one thing or another. I mean, it's been great, but to see.
But that's what it was like when you were learning.
I couldn't wait to get it built so I could hear the sound.
Yeah.
It's the sound.
Well, on that note, I'm going to give it a wee shot.
Oh,
now.
please!
So we'll kind of wrap up the chatting bit, and stick around, and I'll play a few notes on the guitar, and Sean can have a listen.
There's a little thing about that at the end when you're finished. Is the sound for that snap on the flamenco.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that as well.
Lovely stuff.
But I just want to say thank you very much to Sean for coming into the gallery, and
my pleasure. Really
for people watching. I mean, think about the things that you've talked about. Pivoting in some ways, a career, changing things, the adaptability, the flexibility that Sean had, which I think has all come from the music at some point, and been able to adjust.
I mean, there definitely. I mean, there is. I mean, I do believe that everybody has a creative side,
of course,
in them somewhere. Some don't find it.
Yeah. Some
others do.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I've found a lot.
Yeah.
But I have to be really honest, man. I think it's a gift.
Yeah.
I think everything that I have done since I have got Dystonia. I mean, if I hadn't had Dystonia, I would never have went down the painting. I wouldn't be sitting here with this.
No.
I'd have been stressing out about a concert or a festival or something, and I don't know which is. This. I absolutely. I'm in love with the process of making something out of a tree.
Yeah.
That sounds like that.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you back.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate that, man.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Now, go play.
Okay. Gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
Gorgeous.
It sounds
Beautiful.
It sounds really, really beautiful.